This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, now today we are going to discuss about the client. What is client and what client? Till now you come to understand what is a client in SAP. Client is an entity where we can save all our data. And we know one more thing, we can create a clients from 000 to 999. Two things. And when you install a system, you will get a three default kinds: 000, 001 and 066. These are the clients. This is what you know about the client. Okay, wherever you go, whenever you go, when you save your data in case of SAP, we have to save it in client only. Okay, client is an entity where we can secure our data. Okay, client is an entity where we can secure it related to SAP. Here we got a different clients, and the clients are dependent or interdependent, means where you can, when you create a client in 700, you cannot see the data in other client. It means it would be a client specific user. See what happened, as discussed we earlier, in development we have 4 clients, in quality we have 1 or 2 clients, but production we have only 1 client. The most probably it happens in development system, the people create user in some client and searching in some client. Not possible, because if you put something at one place, you find that thing that place only after 2 years, after 3 years, after 4 years also. That is a that you would like to know. So here also, when basis creates user in one client 100, you will see that user after 2 years also in 100 only. So if you try to log in with the same user from other client, it would be not possible. It would be not possible at all. If at all he needs to log in from different user, you need to create same user he create. If you create Mr. X in 100, you can create Mr. X in 120 also. There is no hash to create same name client, same name users in different clients. Okay, nobody will ask, but you have to create a these users are the client specific. It may be the interview question. They will fumble you by asking in directly or indirectly in different other meanings, but you should understand one thing: the client is a user is a thing which is available only in the client where he has been created by the with a base help a base consultant or a security consultant. Okay, and we log into new client. When you create a new client, whenever and wherever, like X number client, like 333, 420, 786, 159, any client you create. So how to log into that client? How you log into that client? Because until and unless you log into that client, you cannot create new test user in that. With the help of test user, you create hundreds of users one after one. Because of that, what you need to do? You need to initially create one user. You have to have one user from which you can log into the client. So here we go. See, we have SAP star. SAP star is the user. Okay. SAP star is the user and the password would be pass. This is your remember. Okay, this would also be a these also things to know. Whenever you log into new client, you have to log in with SAP star user, and the password would be the PASS in small. So once you give these two credentials to any newly created client, we will directly enter into the client for the first time. Then you create a number of users over there. Okay, we should create a number of users over there with the help of the client. Okay, now you see, till now we learn 2 transaction codes, 3 transaction codes per session. But here you can see we are going to learn this many T codes. We are going to learn this many T transaction codes in today's session for client. What is client? Why client? These are different types of transaction codes which are being used in client administration. Okay, you have to very carefully work on clients. If you do any mistake in client, your whole data goes off like anything. You have to be very careful while working with the client, and the settings of the client, configuration of client. It's very necessary. know it from basics. So we have one transaction called SCC4. We have one more transaction called BD54. One more SCC3. One more SCC5. Another one SCCL. So another one SCC7. Another one SCC8. Last in the list is SCC9. These all transaction codes we are going to discuss one by one, what all importance and what we can do with those transactions. See here, through SCC4 is a client administration where you can create a new client. Where you create it means what? If you press SCC4, if you got a mail from a team or from any manager or anywhere you got a mail, okay, Mr. X, you have to create one client. So what you should do, first of all, you should log in through, you can log into your client with user ID password, then hit a transaction called SCC4, which will show you the new screen for creating a client, which will show you the new screen for creating the client. Okay. And for creation of client, we require a logical client. It's a mandatory thing. Okay, write it down somewhere if you want. For creation of any client, it requires a logical client. It requires a logical client. So you should be able to know how to create logical client also. For creating logical client, we use transaction code BD54. Client is always incomplete without a logical client. Client is always inconsistent or with incomplete without a logical client. It means what? For each and every client, there must be one logical client. That is for sure. Okay. And you see how to create this client, how to this logical client. You can create logical client through transaction code called BD54. And what is the nomenclature? What is the process to create? Here you can create SID, CLNT, and the client number. If your SID is DEV, then plus use DEV. Okay. Then you have to write CLNT, CLNT. Then the client number. Then the client number. Client number is what? Which I have created through SCC4. You have to use same client number. Okay. And click on create logical client. Otherwise, if it is SID is PRD, CLNT 390. Okay. You have to remember the formula SID, CLNT, and client number. In this way, you can create a new logical line into the SAP system. Okay. Now you see SCC3. You see SCC3. So what is SCC3 now? This is to see the client logs with the client which you have created. If there is an error or if you close anything, if you do import export, client copy, client creation, deletion, anything you do, so you are not a magician telling it's all done perfectly. No, nobody can tell. Unless you see the log will show what we have done and what processor, if anything getting stuck or successfully completed, a failure, everything you can see in SCC3. It means what? SCC3 is to see the client logs, whichever is the client. Okay, to see the logs of the client, you have to use transaction code SCC3. Now what we have done, we covered 3 transaction codes today: SCC4, BD54, and SCC3. Don't get confused. All SCC there. Okay, you have to by heart all these things. How it comes to, if you do practice regularly, you come to know everything without anything. Okay. Now see SCCL. One more thing, SCCL. It's a local client copy. It's a local client copy. Will copy like 400 to 390. Copy from 400 to 390. Like if I have a client 0001 and the client has got 2-3 users, 4 users, 5 users in that. So I just want to create one more client with the name called 390 with the same data. With the same data, then it will be saying as a local client copy. It's saying as a local client copy where you can just write the transaction, okay, and read the transaction and give the target client and source client. You have to write down which is source and which is target. Okay. Then what happened? You can, and whenever you would like to do any activity in client administration, you have to be in destination. You have to be in destination. For example, if you want to copy something in 390 from 001, so what is your formula? How you process? You have to log in through 390, then give a source client. What is source? 001 is source, target is 390. Then whatever you have in 001, everything gets copied into 390 without any disturbance. Okay. The client, local client copy will take lesser amount of time depending upon data in the source system. Whatever data you want source system, when all entries, all tables and all table values get updated in this client. Okay. Here we have to log into target line and enter the source information. Target is 390 and select profiles. What do you want to copy? Whether you want to copy only SAP users or SAP all. SAP all means it will copy application data, user data, and clock line data, but it copy everything. It might take 4 hours, 5 hours, even 10 hours. It's depending upon your size of the existing client. Depending upon the size of the, but here we're going to copy only as users. We're going to copy users, which takes only 5 to 10 minutes to copy all the users from one client to another client. Now you see SCC 5. What is SCC 5 now? SCC 5 means deletion of a client, where whole client information saves in T000. Write down this table name somewhere. Whatever information, if you require for the client, then you can check it in T000 table. This is a table where SAP saves all the client information. Like you asked on that day, where are my dynamic variables? It also saves in one table. So here, where are my clients? You asking, I create 10 clients. Where should I find all clients in one place? Go in client, sorry, table 3000, where you can find all the clients created by you. But one day, you don't require a client. Like if you create one client called 733 or 725, any client, but client doesn't require that client no more. No, you got to go to mail. Okay, please delete that. Just go into the client and hit a transaction, SCC5, enter. Then here what happened? It will delete everything from the client data also, and it will create a space for you. It will create a space for you. Here the deletion, you have to enter into target client. If you want to delete 390, then log into 390 and there is an option for delete client number. It will delete the client, which takes more time to check the status. You have to go to SCC3. You put, like if you have 200 GB of data in a client, you put deleted, then wait for some time, then you will see everything in SCC3, whether client has been deleted or not in proper way. Now you see, we have got one more thing called client export. We have got one more thing called client export. Here what happened? Export from source and import into target. Okay. Here, like it is another way of a client copy where we use client export import. First, what we will do, we'll export whatever you, if you want to export one client, like you have a client called 390 source client. You have 200 data. You export total client. Okay, it will export and keep it in one place. Then go into target and hit transaction. Uh, uh, Click on import. Then from here export import. If you have 200 GB data here, the whole data will come here once you import these things into 480. to 480. And you have RFC between them. It should have logic line in both. What is the thing? Here and here, you should have logic line. 390 also logic line, 480 also, because they are going to talk to each other for sending and receiving data, logical client, okay, internally. And you have to create a RFC between both. RFC means remote functional call, which can send and receive data in a faster manner. Here you have to log into source client. Here, till now we log into target client, but in client export import, you have to log into source client and select a profile. Select a profile. What profile you need to copy? SAP, matlab each and everything from client 390. Then here you to give target client. Okay, source is this. So we have to copy. You have to copy target client, enter target client. You schedule the job in background. It will show the client export is done. How it do? While doing the client import export, what it does? It will create three transport requests for you. It will create three transport requests for you. What are those? It may be KT, it may be KO, it may be KX. Once it creates a three transport request, because you know, for doing any copy kind of thing from one place to other place, we use a request in SAP. So here it creates three requests. One, two, three. So you have to import all these requests into a target client. Okay. Once import target client, then you're able to see whole data. For that, you have to do some things. We'll discuss this. Okay. See, what is KO? It's a client cross-line data. KT, client specific data. KX, text and forms. Okay, then log into target client, import the transports. Okay, with the transaction code STMP import. See, once you do transports, you have to run SCC7 to perform the post-processing activities. What is the SCC7 again? SCC 8 and 7 works together. Okay, the client import export is incomplete without SCC7 until unless that when you transport your data through HTML import to target client, you will find the data, but you cannot see the data. To activate those data which is viewable or accessible by all the end users or specific users, no issues. You have to do this task through SCC7. Perform post installation processing activities. So it will ask some queries. You have to fill that query. Then your all data from source, which is target, is been seen by everybody. Once you log off and log in again, you can able to see everything in one go. Okay. So if you have in which scenarios SCC 8 would be preferable, SCC 8 is preferable if you have a data like big data 500 to 1000 client you have, but then you have a big client 500 GB to 1000 GB, you can use SCC 8 and SCC 7. Okay, and we have one more transaction called SCC 9. SCC 9 is used where if you have small client, then you can use SCC 9 because the whole SCC 9 runs on this secure connections and RFCs and your internet speed. Okay, and here in SCC 9, your source and the target clients both are blocked till the activity completes. Here what you do in SCC 8.7, you do once you take exports, you can release the client and start working with the people. But in SCC 9, your source client and target client would be blocked till your activity is done. Okay. First, you have to create a new client where you have to going to put your data. Then create RSC between source and target. Here, log into destination client, which is you have to here log into newly created client. Like 480 you have created, just log into client and give source. From where you are going to copy. From where you are going to copy means you are going to copy from 300. Check RFC and all. Then give source client. Then give source client. Then give source client name to start it doing. Okay. So we have seen this is exporting data from source input target client. Is once the data exported, login target client. Okay, this is done. SC7. Okay, this is done. Now see some things over here. This is the SCC7. This is SCC7. When you press SC7, it will ask you for the request because you transfer 3 requests now. It will ask for request number, KT request. Just give the request name, request number over here. Then it will schedule a job in background. What it will do? It will schedule job in background. You have to keep immediately on. Then client import processing. But they started import processing. What is done? It take authorization data and user data. Okay. Once it's done, then it will show key. Test is the. You find all records in the newly created client. These records we have in source client. Now we moved everything into target client with the help of client import export, SCC8 and SCC7. So once you perform this activity, then you can able to see data in your target client. This is what we learn about client today. Now what we will do, we'll jump onto the system and start doing a few practicals today for the client administration. Okay, we're into the client. Check whether console is up and running. Console is up and running. Okay. What we will do, we'll try to cover few transactions today. First we see transaction code SCCL. So here we have three clients: 000, 001, and 066. These three clients we are having. So today we are going to create one more client over here. Just click on new entries. Here give client number 600. Test client. Here client. I give Hyderabad. Okay. Here see it's asking for the logical client and we don't have logical client. If you have logical client, then just press over here. It will select the logical client and it will move forward. But in this case, no value selected. Maintain entries, yes. No. Here what we can do, here we just want to give slash O BD 54. With ADIC, we cannot perform this activity. So we're going to create one small user, okay? I create a user from ADIC, I copied into new user called demo. You enter the password. Save it. See, I have given SAP all to this profile. There is no roles. We give SAP all. Okay. And this profile S underscore A dot system is specially for basis. What basis role? What profile basis has in production? He has S underscore A dot system profile, which is especially used by basis administrator. Okay. Now I create one user demo. Now we try to log in with the user ID demo. Come out of all. I'll go slash NEX. SCC4 from the user demo. Demo client address I give Hyderabad. Okay, now require logical client to go to slash O BD 54. Entries QUA is my SID. 340 is a client, and you have to press CLNT in between. CLNT 340. Logical client for 340. Now save this record. See the request. Okay, create one request. Okay, now we have created one logical client for 340. Now what we will do? Just go here and here just try to find 340. See, we have found 340 over here. Now I said 340. The standard currency we take INR client role. Yes, if the production system, give production. If the customer assistant, give the customization. So we'll do this as test system. These are the test system, and see we have few things over here. We have to select all these things very properly without any issues. Okay, the whole client relies on this 1, 2, 3, 4 steps only. The first you save your client, the client was saved. Now if you see, if you go to SCC4, now you got 4 clients, 1, 2, 3, 4. Demo is just now created, but it is not totally created. Need to make some changes. See here. We have 4 options over here. Changes without automatic recording. Automatic record of changes, no changes allowed. Changes without automatic recording, no transports allowed. These are the 4 options for each client, for each activity. we have to select certain things. Like for production, blindly you select no changes allowed. Production, you can select directly no changes allowed. Means everybody knows in production we want to do not change, no access to change. What access we have? We have only access to enter data in production. The client setting anything you cannot change at any point of time. For some reasons, for some emergency, if you would like to do changes in production, what happened? We have to use these changes without automatic recording. Matlab, what all changes you do, please don't record, because whenever do any change in any client development, it write all changes into one transport request. It write all changes. Like from 9 o'clock morning till evening 5 o'clock, we work on one thing. Okay, everything must be saved. Everything is saved in one single transport request. So here production, no transports. You can never create transports in production. So changes without, but don't do recording and no transport, because from production there is a destination client. From there you cannot send anything to reverse or forward. That is an endpoint. Production server is an endpoint for any landscape. You cannot go forward to copy something to a further. Then you see for development client, you keep this blindly. Automatic recording of changes. Whatever a developer does, a developer does, any basic people does, it all creates one request. So what we have in request are the changes of tables, change tables data, change table history. Then you send a mail to the basis saying that key, please move this request to the quality. Then what basis do? You check the approvals, quality no more approval request, but you can give it in quality, no problem. Quality. Then again they do testing. Everything is fascinated, created goodly, fetch the data and all. They have the same data quality also. Now, if you want to move production, again you have to send a mail to a senior saying that you please send it to production. Then senior will send with all approvals to the basis. Once basis go through, you will able to see main data in production server also. So development, you have to keep this always. And here, this is for sandbox. This is for sandbox. Sandbox means that is a box which is isolated from all other systems. There is no communication to other systems from there. You can go inside, but you cannot come outside. You cannot jump into other server. You have to come out, and log into the new client. This is totally isolated environment. This is totally isolated environment. You can use change. You change, but without recording. But whatever you want to change. It won't create a request for you. But whatever created in the night, you forget in the morning, nobody believes. Nobody checks systems, then come to conclusion, this guy is not working properly. Okay. Now you come to know what all these four changes: sandbox, development, production, production. Come again, sandbox, development, production, and then production. Okay, now here you see changes to repository and cross-client objects allowed. If you keep this one, then you have to keep this one. But whatever things are recording, that should be moved to the next client. This should be moved to the next client. Sometimes you don't want to copy, you have to just, you would like to copy only repository, then select this. The cross-client objects is not selected. No changes. Okay. I will see no change for this also. Now, if you want to create a client, changes, okay. No changes allowed, but in production, what you do? No changes allowed. And here also, no changes to the, but if you keep a quality in production, you keep this also only, always. Quality production, which you no change allowed, first thing. And second thing, no changes to repository and cross-site customizing object. Means you cannot do anything if you keep these things in a server. If somebody wants to change anything, then you have to take approval, change this to here, and change this to here. If it is a development box, sandbox, production box, okay, and we one thing over here. Now you see one more thing. Now you see what's happened to a client. I save this client, I save it properly. Now everything is fine. I have 340. I just want to log into 340 now. So what should I do? Just go out and try to log in with 340 now. Total out. 340 client. Okay. What's our discussed? We discussed SAP star. The password is PASS pass. Yes. I just want to show you this one only. You will get this message when you create new client. But don't forget thumb rule. You have to be just logging with SAP star and pass. That is a golden rule. This errors are coming. Why? Because to log into the newly created client, you have to change one parameter setting. You have to change one parameter setting. After doing that setting only, you can able to log into the system. This is SAP star and pass. So what I do right away now, I just want to go to 001 only with the demo with the password. Now go to RZ10. See here. Control the automatic login of user SAP star. It will control the user to log in and log off. What? SAP star. Login no automatic star. Here, what is the value? 1. 1 is deactive. 0 is active. 1 is inactive. 0 is active. Now do the same thing. Copy, go back, copy, go back, save, save. The version 8 has been created. Now what you need to do? What's the next step? Our next step is to start and stop this console. Start and stop this console. How? Alt stop. Very easy. So everything been down. Then you have to restart this to take that effect. Condition okay. I will check every process. Okay. Wait. Okay. Good to go now. Now 340 demo. No, SAP star and password is pass. See now I could able to log in here. See here. Go up. Now see SAP star 340. But we already logged into 340 client with a user called SAP star. We logged into 340 client with a user called SAP star. Now here what we can do? We can do SCC. See if you check SU01 over here, you find nothing. This is a newly created client which doesn't have any users. So no value selected. No users are there, exist. Now what we will do, we'll copy our users, DDS user and the demo user into 340. Okay, where we have it in 001. What is your source? 001. What is the target? 340. Now we are jumping and start the local client copy. We're going to start today a local client copy. Now see how it works. The local client copy. Okay, here target 340. Source profile. Matlab, what profile you want? I want only user profile. Okay. Source client information. Okay. Here you can see source client. Sorry, 01. Now schedule a job in a background. The background server, same server. Okay. Immediately start the job. What it says, it will copy all the users from 01. Started things in background already. Okay, go and check SCC3. See a processing. Now you see it's processing. If I refresh this, it's copied everything now. See, successfully completed. SAP user successfully completed. It means in 340, if you search now demo user, you will find demo user. See here what I have done. I have copied demo user from 0012 340 via local client copy. Via local client copy, we are able to achieve the things. Okay. We covered SCC4 here. We covered BD54 over here. We got SCC3 over here. And we covered SCCL over here. Now you will see SCC5, the client deletion. Afterwards, we'll do rest of the sessions tomorrow. Okay. Now what I'll do, I just want to log in into target client. Yes, targeted client 340 only. Now press SCC5 over here. SCC5. If I press start immediately, it will hit the transaction. Okay. If you do test run, okay, it will show you what all impacts you are getting if you do test run. I'll show you test run only. Start immediately. This is what you're getting. Okay. Now here, if I continue, this should read everything. See, it's delete customized data, flavors, authorization data, application data, change document, user creation, and delete. Now, forwarding, we're checking the client whether this is deleted or not. It will give you the result. Okay, takes time 5 minutes. Still running, okay. You have to check here where things are running or stopping. If it is stopped means everything has been stopped. If it's running means everything is running. See, analysis doing. This is analysis. After this, it will start the deletion of the client. Okay.
Why this analysis is required before deleting the client?
The number of entries you have. Okay. Number of entries, the table entry, whether you are able to delete or not, the data is suffice to delete or not. It will show you the report total. 1 2 page report will give. You have to keep that report screenshot with you. If after some few days people come and ask why you do it, what logs you have shown me, that you don't have any proof other than these logs. It's an entire log. Okay. So what
Okay.
happened? What we'll do once this done, I'll take a screenshot and send it to you. And by this we close our session for today's session. Okay.
Mhm.
1 minute. I'll
Okay.
stop the recording.